The sky above Earth turned dark without warning. No clouds, no thunder, just darkness. All satellites lost signal. The ISS crew saw something no one ever expected, a massive alien ship, bigger than any city, parked above the Earth like a silent god. People screamed. Some prayed. Some pulled out their phones. Then a signal came. It was not a war cry. It was an invitation. We are the Zarkith, the oldest race of the galaxy. We invite humanity to the galactic challenge. Win, and you gain access to the ancient vault, where lost knowledge and power sleep. Lose, and Earth becomes a servant planet. Every leader in the world came together in a secret meeting under a mountain. Fear filled the room, but one woman stayed calm. Captain Mira Chen, a former space soldier, now head of Earth's new defense force, spoke first. They invited us to play. Their game, she said, standing tall. That means they think we have a chance. A general laughed. You've seen the footage? One Zarkith ship disabled 20 satellites just by flying close. Their minds are like machines. They've been practicing this challenge for thousands of years. Mira didn't blink. Then they don't know how to handle someone who doesn't follow rules. The room went quiet. 3 days later, Earth sent its answer. We accept the challenge. The Zarkith ship opened, and a silver bridge extended down to the surface. Only 7 humans were allowed to enter. Myra was one of them. She wore a simple black uniform and carried no weapons. Just a small, old notebook in her pocket. The others with her were strange choices. A blind chess champion from Russia, a street dancer from Brazil, a comedian from India, a retired war veteran from Ghana, a game developer from Japan, and a 12-year-old girl who solved a math puzzle no one else could. The alien judges, tall and still like statues, watched in silence. Their leader, a tall being with glowing eyes, finally spoke. We welcome you, humans. Your race has spirit, but spirit will not help you here. This challenge has rules. You must follow them. Mira gave a small smile. Of course, she said politely. But inside, she thought, we'll see about that. The first room was not a battlefield. It was a stage. Calm voice echoed around them. Your first task, solve the maze of mind. No movement, no talking, only thought. The chess champion sat, cross-legged. The girl closed her eyes. The aliens connected glowing wires to their heads. Complex symbols appeared in the air. Myra looked around. The comedian whispered, Should I start telling jokes in my mind? The dancer laughed. Try it. Can't hurt. But then, something strange happened. As the comedian imagined a silly story about a dancing potato, the symbols in the air shifted. The aliens looked confused. Mira leaned close. Keep going. The more random the thoughts became jokes, songs, strange memories, the faster the symbols spun. The alien judges tilted their heads. This ... should not be possible. One said in shock. They're not solving the maze, they're breaking it. After 10 minutes, the symbols exploded into light. The room faded to white. You passed, said the alien voice, still confused. Mira crossed her arms. That's what happens when you give humans rules. We break them by accident or on purpose. Back on Earth, people watched the news in disbelief. The Zarkith didn't attack. In fact, they even praised the humans, sort of. Your minds are chaotic, the alien judges said. But ... interesting. The next challenge would be harder, but something had changed. The galaxy saw humans not as weak, but as something new, something dangerous. The blind chess champion whispered to Mira, Did we really win? She smiled. No, we just made them nervous. Now the real game begins. The room changed around them. Walls made of light formed a giant glowing maze. But it was not a normal maze. There were no doors, no paths, just floating symbols and shifting patterns. The air felt thick, like it was pressing against their thoughts. The alien voice returned. Welcome to Trial 1, the maze of the mind. You may not move your body. You must solve the puzzle using only your thoughts. Fastest team wins. If you fail, your mind may be damaged. Mira Chen looked at her team. The Zarkith judges were watching closely from a high glass platform. The chess champion from Russia, named Alexei, closed his eyes first. His face was calm. The young math girl, Aisha, also focused, her fingers twitching slightly. The others looked unsure. Mira whispered, "Let's try everything. Think of numbers, shapes, sounds, ... anything." A metal voice warned them, "No talking." They all went silent. Suddenly, a sharp pain entered Alexei's head. He opened his eyes and gasped. "It's like needles." Inside the maze, symbols floated closer to him. Each one tried to read his thoughts. If he focused too hard, the symbols burned, brighter, causing more pain. If he didn't focus, they laughed. Yes, laughed and turned red. These weren't just puzzles. They were living machines trying to trap human minds. But then something strange happened. Sanjay, the Indian comedian, wasn't following the same path. He wasn't thinking about numbers or logic. He was imagining a chicken doing kung fu. The symbols near him stopped moving. They flickered. Then, They late? One turned into a rubber duck. Aisha peeked with one eye and whispered, "Did you just break the puzzle?" Sanjay smiled. "Maybe they don't understand nonsense." Myra saw the result and made a quick decision. Everyone stopped solving it. They looked confused. "Don't play the game. Break it." The dancer from Brazil, Lucio, began thinking of dance steps. He imagined samba music and flashing lights. Aisha imagined herself flying through a chocolate castle with flying cats. The old soldier Kwame imagined all the symbols turning into his ex-wife's voice yelling at him. Each one caused the maze to react strangely. Some walls melted, others twisted. Some symbols faded completely. The alien judges began to speak in their own strange language. Their glowing eyes blinked faster. One of them slammed a hand on a control panel. "This is not the proper way. They are not solving the maze." But the lead Zarkith judge said, "Wait, ... observe." Suddenly, the maze collapsed. All walls fell into pixels. The symbols turned black. The trial room returned to normal. A loud beep rang out. Human team completed the maze. Time, 7 minutes, 13 seconds, fastest ever recorded. The Zarkith judges stood silent for a long moment. Then one spoke. "Your team did not solve the maze in the correct manner." Mira nodded. "You're right. We didn't follow your rules." The lead judge stared. "Then how did you succeed?" Mira shrugged. "Said we couldn't move or talk, but you never said we couldn't improvise." The room fell quiet again. Other alien teams who watched from the gallery were whispering in their languages. One said they are broken, ... dangerous minds. Another replied, "No, they are something worse. Wild." Back in their waiting room, Aisha was rubbing her head. "That maze tried to hurt me." Sanjay grinned. "Good thing your brain is made of steel." Kwame chuckled. "Or chocolate." Mira looked around. "You all did great. That's one down. Many more to go." She turned to the wall where a list of coming trials appeared. The next one glowed. Red, Trial 2. Arena of Strengths beneath it. No weapons. No safety. No mercy. Aisha frowned. "They expect us to lose this one." Mira smiled calmly. "Then they still don't understand. We're not here to win their way. We're here to win our way." The humans stood in silence as the metal floor began to shake. A huge gate opened, revealing a massive arena-like, a stadium built by giants. The walls were high and covered with strange alien eyes. The floor was smooth metal, and the ceiling showed a sky full of otherworldly stars. A deep voice echoed, "Welcome to Trial 2, Arena of Strength. This is a test of power, speed, and survival. No weapons, no help, no mercy." Other species stood in the shadows, huge creatures with claws, wings, or armor-like skin. Each one looked like a monster from a nightmare. Then came the Zarkoth's own team, tall, muscular, and calm. They moved like machines, trained for centuries, each one stronger than 10 humans. And then the humans stepped forward. A girl, a dancer, a comedian, a chess player, a war veteran, a game designer. And Captain Mira. The alien crowd laughed. Mira heard their laughter and whispered to her team, "Good. Let them think we're weak." The war veteran Kwame cracked his neck. "Just like old times," he muttered. Lucio, the Brazilian dancer, stretched. "Let's dance with danger." Aisha, the young girl, looked nervous. "They look like they could break us in one hit." Mira knelt beside her. "Then we don't let them hit you." Siren blasted. The round began. Immediately, 2 alien teams ran forward. One had 6 legs and razor-sharp tails. The other carried huge shields on their arms. Mira shouted, "Spread out." The humans didn't run straight into battle. They ran in all directions, fast and wild, breaking formation completely. The Zarkith judges frowned. They are disorganized. But then, something strange happened. Lucio slid under an alien's legs and kicked a pressure point, he learned. In dance training, the beast screamed and fell. Sanjay ran in circles, yelling nonsense, confusing the others. Kwame grabbed a piece of the floor, sharp like a knife, and used it to blind a creature. They weren't fighting with power. They were fighting with chaos. The alien crowd went silent. The Zarketh team attacked next. One giant came charging at Mira, but instead of dodging, she fell backward intentionally. The alien slipped on her uniform's smooth fabric and smashed into a wall. She stood up calmly. Strength isn't about muscle. It's about the moment. Suddenly, a loud alarm rang. 2 alien teams were down. One of the judges stood. How are they doing this? They don't train. They don't prepare. They react. Another judge replied, "They move like they don't care about winning. Yet. They keep winning." Then one of the Zarkith fighters attacked Aisha. She froze. The monster raised its arms to strike, but Kwame roared and jumped in front of her, taking the full hit. His body flew across the arena and hit the wall with a crack. Everyone gasped. Aisha screamed, "Kwame!" Slowly. The old man stood up, blood on his face, one arm broken, but his eyes burning with fire. He laughed. "You call that a punch? My grandma hits harder." The alien team hesitated. For the first time, they looked afraid. The fight ended with a loud horn. Trial over. Human team. ... Victory. The crowd stayed quiet, then slowly ... began to clap. The Zarkith judges looked at each other in silence. One finally said, "They fight dirty. They break formation. They have no strategy. And yet they win." Another said, "It's not strategy. It's madness." The leader nodded. "No, it's something worse. It's freedom." In the restroom, Mira patched up Kwame's wounds with a field kit. "You okay?" she asked. Kwame smiled. "I've had worse." Sanjay handed him a juice pouch. "You just became a meme, sir." Aisha looked down. "I was scared," Mira replied. "Good. We all were. That's what makes us human. Feel fear... and still move forward." On the wall, the next trial appeared. Trial 3. The truth cage lies will be punished. Secrets will be exposed. Lucio whistled. "Oh no. Now they want honesty. We're doomed." Mira smiled, calm as ever. "They want the truth? We'll give them the truth. ... our way." Team entered a new chamber round, cold and quiet. It looked like a courtroom and a prison at the same time. In the center stood 7 tall chairs made of glowing crystal. The walls shimmered with alien eyes, blinking in slow rhythm. Above them, a voice spoke. "Trial 3. The truth cage. Each of you will answer one question. If you lie, the system will know. Lie once, lose a point. Lie twice, disqualified. 3 lies... and your mind is erased." Aisha whispered. "Erased." Mira nodded. "Worry. I have a plan." Sanjay, the comedian, raised his hand. "Can we lie about the lies?" "No," Mira said. "But we can bend the truth so hard it forgets where it started." A glowing creature floated down. It had no face, just a light that pulsed with every thought. It was the Judge Mind, a living lie detector from the Zarketh. Archives? The creature pointed at the first human, Alexei, the blind chess champion. Question: do you believe your team can win this challenge? Alexei smiled calmly. No, the room buzzed. Truth. Everyone gasped, but Myra smiled. She understood. Alexei didn't believe in winning. He believed in playing the long game. For him, survival was victory. Next was Aisha. Question: are you afraid? She hesitated. Her hand shook. Then she said yes. Truth. Mira nodded. What? It was okay. Sometimes the truth was useful. Then came Lucio, the dancer. Question: have you ever betrayed your people? Lucio blinked, then said yes. Truth. Everyone stared at him. He explained, I danced for a dictator once. I didn't. No. But after, I never danced for power again. The Judge Mind said nothing. Even the alien crowd fell silent. They weren't used to honesty that hurt. Then came Kwame, the war veteran. Question: did you enjoy killing during war? Kwame stared at the Judge Mind for a long time. Then he said no. But sometimes, I missed the feeling of being needed. Truth, the Zarketh judges whispered among themselves. These answers are ... strange. Then came Sanjay. Question: do you take this seriously? He laughed. No. Lie. Everyone froze. Sanjay laughed again. Okay, yes. I do, I just... Hide it with jokes. Truth. Mira whispered to him. Good save. He whispered back. Almost lost my brain there. Then the Judge Mind turned to Mira Chen. Question: have you been lying since the first trial? The room went cold. Every alien in the stadium leaned forward. Mira smiled. She didn't blink. She didn't flinch. She said, yes, truth. A wave of shock passed through the alien judges. Even the Judge Mind paused. Follow-up question: will you continue to lie? Mira leaned closer. Only when it helps me protect my people. Truth. The room shook with noise. Some aliens booed. Others clapped. The Zarketh leader stood. They are using honesty as a weapon. Another judge said no. They are using it like art. Back in their waiting room, the team sat quietly. No one spoke. Finally, Aisha broke the silence. We won. By telling the truth? Myra nodded. But not just any truth. Human truth. Messy, painful, real. Kwame looked at the screen. What's next? The new trial name appeared. Trial 4. The death simulation pain is real. Death is not. Fight until your last breath. Sanjay groaned. Now they want us to die. Fake Lucio smiled. We already broke their minds. Let's break their rules again. Mira stood. Her voice calm but cold. We told the truth in their game. Now we'll show them the part they fear most. Aisha asked what part. Mira replied, that humans never stop even after they're supposed to be dead. The humans stood in a long hallway made of black glass. The walls showed images of past contestants, some smiling, some broken, and some ... gone forever. At the end of the hallway was a door with red writing. Pain is real. Death is not. Prove your will. Captain Mira stepped forward. The door opened and smoke poured out. Inside was a dark arena. A red moon hung above. 7 glowing beds floated in the center. The alien voice returned. Trial 4. The death simulation. You will be placed in full neural sleep. What you feel? You will believe. Pain is real. Fear is real. Death is only data. But if your mind breaks... it stays broken. Sko whispered. So it's a nightmare game? Mira replied. Yes. And we've lived worse nightmares in real life. Each human lay down in one of the beds. Wires connected to their heads. Flash of blue light, and they were gone. Their bodies remained still. But their minds had entered a simulation. Inside the simulation, the humans woke up in a destroyed city. Smoke filled the sky. Screams echoed through the streets. Buildings were on fire. Strange alien monsters roamed the roads, hunting them. Mira looked around. This isn't random. This is Earth. ... After losing. A message appeared in the air. Save one, leave one, or lose both. Two people were trapped under rubble, Aisha and Kwame. Mira looked at the others. They want us to choose. One lives, one dies. Lucio shouted, "No, we're not choosing. We're changing the game." The team split into action. Sanjay ran toward Aisha, dodging falling metal. Lucio danced between fire and debris to reach Kwame. Mira climbed to the highest point and shouted into the sky, "Is this your test? Pain or choice? Then we choose something you can't predict." The simulation responded by sending then a building toward her, back in the real arena. The alien judges watched in silence. One Zarkith whispered, "They are supposed to break down." Another said, "Why aren't they panicking?" Inside the simulation, Myra stood her ground as the beast came. Her body was bleeding, her arm was broken, but she didn't move. She shouted, "We've died before, in wars, in hunger, in silence. But don't break." The monster screamed and vanished. Lucio lifted Kwame from the rubble, even though his own leg was badly injured. Sanjay carried Aisha on his back. Everyone should have been dead, but no one gave up. They kept walking, limping, crawling together. The world kept throwing fear at them. Fire, flood, earthquakes, explosions. But every time someone fell, someone else picked them up. No one left behind. Then came the final illusion. A wall of fire stood between the humans and the exit. The message: "Read, this is your last test. Walk through alone." Mira looked at her team. This is where they expect us to fail. They want us to survive as individuals. Kwame stepped forward. "Then let's fail. Together." They linked hands and walked into the fire. Back in the real world, the beds glowed red. One judge shouted. They chose death. The Zarkith leader stood. They chose unity. The beds went dark. Then one by one the humans sat up, breathing hard, crying but alive. The alien crowd gasped. One Zarkith muttered, "They didn't pass the test. They destroyed it." Mira stood, wiping blood from her nose. "Did we win?" "Da." Voice replied. "There was no winner. Only survivors. But you remain standing. That is rare." Later in the rest chamber, Aisha sat quietly, holding her knees. "I saw my parents in the fire," she whispered. "They were begging me to stay." Mira sat beside her. "I know. I saw my brother. He died in the war. This place pulls our pain," Sanjay spoke up. "We beat a test made to break our hearts, and we did it holding hands. That's worth something." Kwame nodded. "More than something. It's human." The next trial flashed on the screen. Trial 5. The morality. Choice: you may save your world. Or someone else's. Not both. Lucio shook his head. "They really don't understand us, do they?" Mira's voice was cold and steady. "They will, after this." The team sat quietly in the preparation room. No one spoke. No one smiled. The last trial death simulation had shaken them all. They were still standing, still together. Then the door opened. A Zarkith guide entered, floating above the ground. "It is time. Prepare for Trial 5, the morality choice." The guide's voice had no emotion, no feeling. Just cold instruction. Sanjay sighed. "I don't like the sound of this one." Mira stood. "Let's go. Whatever it is, we face it." As one, the trial room looked like space itself. A dark, endless sky above. Stars blinking slowly. Two floating planets hovered in the air, one looked like Earth, the other unknown. A deep voice echoed. "You face a choice. You may save one planet. One is your home Earth. The other belongs to a species you have never met. Peaceful race. Now under attack. Save one. The other will burn. You may not split your vote. Your decision must be one." The team stood in. Silence. The rules were clear, Lucio whispered. This is evil. Kwame growled. They're testing our soul now. Each human was led to a private room. Screen appeared with 2 buttons. Earth, unknown planet, 1 choice, 1 life. Aisha stared at the screen. Her parents, her school, her city all. On Earth, her hands trembled. But then she thought about her dream to become a scientist. A dream to help others, not just her people. She pressed unknown planet. Kwame sat back, breathing hard. I've fought wars to protect Earth, he muttered. But what's the point of survival if we let others die just because we don't know them? He pressed unknown planet. Sanjay laughed bitterly. They think they're clever, trying to make us selfish. He pressed without thinking twice. Lucio said nothing. He just closed his eyes, placed his hand on the red circle, and whispered, "We've been strangers before." Alexia smiled softly. Sacrifice is the first move in every winning game. He pressed Aisha, Sanjay, Kwame, Lucio, Alexi. All pressed red. Only Mira remained. She sat alone. The screen blinked before her. Her mind raced. She thought of Earth's forests, oceans, languages, stories. But then, she saw something deeper. She saw the pattern. Every alien race before them had pressed green. Save self, lose others. And now, humans were given the same test. But she knew what to do. She pressed unknown planet. Suddenly, the lights flashed. The 2 planets on the screen began to fade and merge. The deep voice returned. You have made your choice. All of you selected the unknown world. That has never happened. The floating stars brightened. A new planet appeared, green, peaceful, and alive. There was no second planet. This was a morality test to unlock the next stage. The real question was, will you choose others over yourselves? You chose mercy. You chose sacrifice. You have passed. Earth is now protected. So is the unknown. Back in the rest chamber, the team sat together, quiet but proud. Sanjay finally broke the silence. So, ... we saved 2 planets by picking one. Mira nodded. They wanted to see if we were selfish, but we showed them what they didn't expect. Kwame added, we showed them humanity isn't just about survival. It's about choice. Lucio smiled. Real strength isn't in saving yourself. It's in saving someone you don't even know. Suddenly, the screen on the wall changed. Again, special trial unlocked. The hidden round only those who choose mercy may enter. A test of emotion, spirit, and creativity. Aisha whispered, what's a hidden round? Myra stood slowly. It's something no one was ever supposed to reach, and we just unlocked it. The chamber doors opened with no sound. No guards, no lights, no instructions. Just a path made of soft white light stretching ahead like a dream. Captain Mira stepped forward first. Her boots made no sound. The rest followed, quiet, unsure, but ready. Aisha whispered, it feels like a dream. Sanjay replied, if it's a dream, let's make it a good one. They reached the center of the new room, but this was no battlefield, no puzzle, no monster. Instead, it looked like a stage, floating. In the air were strange tools, brushes, instruments, paints, clay, strings, colors. Even musical notes blinked like stars around them. And then the voice spoke. Welcome to the hidden trial, the secret round. This is not a test of war or logic. It is a test of being. Create something. Express what your people are. There are no rules. No right answer. Show us who you are without weapons. Without lies, only your soul. The humans stood in silence. For the first time, there was nothing to fight. Kwame stepped forward first, picked up the clay and began shaping something with his hands. Slowly, a small figure appeared, a child holding a broken toy, smiling despite the cracks. It's hope, he said softly, even in pain. Aisha walked to the airbrush station. She sprayed lines of light into the air. They turned into stars, then into people becoming stars again. This is us, she said, always becoming more. Lucio found a dance floor that blinked with energy. Music started, low and soft. He danced slowly graceful, but tired. His body told a story of survival and love. His feet moved like he was remembering home. Alexei, though blind, picked up an old violin-like instrument and played. The sound was raw, imperfect, but filled with something deeper than skill. The room fell quiet. Even the alien watchers in their chambers sat still. His song had no words, but everyone understood it. Sanjay walked to a floating light screen and started telling jokes. Not to make them laugh, but to show how humans use humor to hide pain. He acted like a fool, but ended with a tear. Sometimes the clown cries the most, he said. And then came Mira. She said nothing. She took her small paper notebook. The one she carried from Earth and began to read aloud, a poem, her own words, simple, real. We are not the strongest. We are not the fastest. But we feel deeply. Laugh loudly. We break and we rebuild. We remember. And that is why we last. As she finished, the entire room changed. The air shimmered. Stage disappeared. A voice not cold this time, but almost warm spoke. Never in 10,000 cycles has a species passed this round. You did not win with power. You won with your soul. We were wrong about you. Zarketh judges rose slowly in their glass chambers. One said, we believed rules made strength. Another said, we believed emotions made weakness. The leader of the judges spoke last. But humans have shown us something new, that chaos can be beauty, that pain can become art, that freedom is dangerous but powerful. Back in their restroom, humans were silent, tired. But something in the air had changed. They weren't just players anymore. They were something more. Aisha asked softly, was that the final trial? Mira shook her head. No, one more remains. One last fight. The final test. The screen changed. The rule breakers, and they made the rules. You broke them. Now they will try to break you. Sanjay grinned. Now this. Sounds familiar. Mira smiled, her eyes sharp and calm. They tried to make us play their game. Now we'll show them. We were never in it. The arena was dark, the walls were made of glass, but nothing could be seen beyond them. No stars, no sky. Just Black Dot Captain Myra Chen stood at the front of her team. Her uniform was torn. Her face showed no fear. Behind her stood Aisha, Sanjay, Kwame, Lucio, Alexei, the rest of Earth's strange, mismatched champions. The voice of the Zarketh leader echoed, deeper than ever before. You have passed every trial, but you did not follow the rules. This final test is punishment for your defiance. You must fight us, the creators, the judges, the rule makers. The ground shook. From the shadows came 7 Zarketh champions, not monsters, but something greater. Tall as towers, fast as lightning, built to win. One judge floated down and stared directly at Mira. You refused to obey. You laughed at our laws. Now we will erase your kind. Mira smiled. I don't think so. A blast hit the ground, sending dust flying. The first Zarketh warrior ran forward, targeting Alexei, but before he could strike, Quame stepped in. His old muscles moved with purpose. With no weapon, he dodged, fell, and rolled, using the Zarkov's strength against him. I've fought bigger, Quame said, wiping blood from his lip. And dumber. Another Zarketh charged at Aisha. She froze till Mira shouted, Use your mind. Aisha remembered a puzzle from the first trial. She grabbed 2 glowing rods from the arena wall, touched them together, and overloaded the alien's energy shield. It screamed and fell. Lucio danced. Yes, danced. He dodged hits with rhythm, using the strange arena lights like a show. He wasn't fighting the Zarketh, he was outperforming them. Even alien spectators started watching him more than the battle. Sanjay ran up to a judge and yelled, Hey, want to hear a joke? Zarketh raised a hand to strike but paused. Sanjay grinned. Too late, I already won. He pressed a control panel behind the judge's leg and triggered an explosion under the floor. The crowd gasped. Back in the control room, the Zarketh Council stood, watching, confused, furious. They do not follow plans. They refuse logic. They are wild. Then the Zarketh leader shouted, End them! Now, but Mira stepped forward. She held up her notebook. This, she said, is the only rulebook we follow. It's called Adapt. It's called Heart. It's called being human. She threw the notebook into the air, and the arena caught fire. But it was not fire that burned, it was light. From the crowd, from the skies, from Earth itself, watching from across the stars, one by one, the Zarkith champions fell. Not because humans were stronger, not faster, but because they didn't quit. Because they didn't follow the script. Because every human used what no one could predict. Emotion, chaos, imagination, soul. The last Zarketh warrior fell to his knees. He looked at Myra. "You are broken." She walked up to him. "No," she said softly. "We are free." The judges sat in silence. The Zarketh leader floated down, alone now. He stared at Mira and her team. "We're never supposed to win. We created the game, but you changed it. What are you?" Mira turned to the cameras, to the galaxy watching, and said, clearly, "We are humans. We lose. We cry. But we never stay down. We don't play by your rules, because we make our own." Silence, then a single clap from an alien in the crowd. Then more. A roar of applause began, first from the aliens who once hated humans, then from races who had given up hope. Even some Zarkith judges began to rise, not in anger, but in respect. The lights of the arena turned golden. A final message appeared in the sky. Challenge complete. Earth, victory. Access granted to the ancient vault. Humanity has earned its place not by power, but by being impossible to control. Later on the ship home, Aisha leaned against Mira. "Did we really win?" Mira smiled. "No," she said softly. "We changed the game, and that's something no one can take from us."